Hello, my name is Giselle Santos, and I'm going to be explaining the aerobic cellular respiration process. First, I want to get started with the glucose chemical equation. It's pretty important because every living thing that takes in food needs to turn it into energy, aka ATP, and this is the universal equation for it. But the actual very first step is in the cytosol, which is not in the mitochondria yet. The glycolysis is a metabolic reaction, and it essentially breaks down glucose molecules. And what happens is the glycolysis breaks down the molecules into enzymes and forms 2,3 carbon molecules called pyruvate. And that also to mention, in every step, ATP is being made a little by little, like around 2 molecules. And yeah, going back with the pyruvate, after that, simultaneously while that's happening, electrons from glucose are being transported by an electron carrier called NADH to the electron transport chain, and the pyruvate is being converted to an enzyme called acetyl-CoA, which is a 2-carbon compound. And it's also important to know that this is not an enzyme, it's a coenzyme. And this part of the process, it's the second step. It's called pyruvate oxidation, and it essentially produces carbon dioxide and NADH. The acetyl-CoA compound gets moved to the Krebs cycle, where it gets fully oxidized, which means it loses electrons. And the Krebs cycle produces carbon dioxide, ATP, NADH, and FADH. And the NADH and FADH being made from that cycle then helps carry the newly energized electrons to the electron transport chain, the arrow. And then redox reactions happen, which basically is the transfer of electrons from glucose to oxygen. And this happens once again in the electron transport chain, and this makes the final acceptor oxygen. And it's very important to note that the final acceptor has to be oxygen in order for this process to be aerobic instead of anaerobic, because if there wasn't any oxygen, cells would have to improvise with the anaerobic respiration and fermentation. And then that oxygen then turns into water. And then lastly, the ATP synthase happens, where energy from the proton gradient is used to make 32 ATP molecules. And this process just keeps happening as long as we live. And yeah, thank you.